Howdy Cup and welcome to another episode for Funkit and for Media Prof React to WWE. Again, this time it's not WrestleMania, this time it's obviously the big deal between the UFC's parent company Endeavor and WWE. So we all knew that WWE was up for grabs, and while you and me, some of us might have thought about buying WWE, and lots of other companies / countries like Saudi Arabia apparently was very interested in making WWE their own. It now has been agreed that Endeavor will be the new majority stakeholder, whatever you want to call it. I have a few notes here so that I don't screw up all of it, but again, I'm not a lawyer, right? So they will form a new company where they merge UFC, WWE, and it's actually going to be listed, the ticker, the abbreviation, the acronym for the stock exchange will be TKO. I find it very funny. Good job there. So I also wrote down some numbers, but I think I can just remember them. So apparently, if those two companies now go together, they will be valued at like $21 billion or something crazy like that, which is insane, of course. But that's so much that we can't really put it into, and we can't really visualize $21 billion, right? What does it mean, though? Like, what does it mean? And like from a media person point of view, like someone who teaches, researches in the media space, right? Well, when Endeavor took over UFC a few years ago, they changed a lot, right? They changed like the deals that UFC is doing with like media partners, their publishing, like where they put their content and so on. So I think Endeavor really focused on like entertainment publishing. So I think Endeavor also owns like other events such as some tennis events, for example, and bull riding, I think. So they're all about like those entertainment events. So they're really good at that, at creating content and spreading the content. The one thing that I'm a bit concerned about is that Endeavor, at least for the UFC, they're doing all the events via pay-per-view, and they're really expensive, like $70 or something, right? While the WWE, as of now, would be on the Peacock network, and you can subscribe to Peacock, I think, for $5 or $6 per month or something, right? So I'm wondering if this is going to change, if it's going to go back to pay-per-view models for the big WWE events again. What could be interesting could be potential crossovers. There are lots of jokes already online, like Colby Covington like going to a WWE ring, Conor McGregor or something like this. And while I think that, probably there will be some crossover, like they're going to send superstars to like UFC events to just be in the attendance probably, and vice versa. I don't think that anything else is gonna, like any other crossover things are gonna happen. Maybe it's a little bit like AEW used to have this thing with American Top Team if you're into MMA, right? But like Dan Lambert and a few guys, like even Masvidal came once. I think they entered the ring. Like Patron Sand came, they entered the ring and stormed like the ring and beat down a few wrestlers. So maybe something like this might happen here and there, but I don't think much more because, I mean, fighters are fighters and wrestlers are wrestlers. So I don't think there's much more to it. But from a business point of view, like Endeavor, A, being huge now, obviously, B, they have this playbook that they use for the UFC, for all the other properties that they have. I think they have, and I noted it down, they have like more than 20 of those different entertainment properties. And Endeavor said in the interview they would run the same playbook as they did with the UFC. So they're looking for like new partnerships, new deals, new ways to publicize all things WWE. Vince McMahon is back in the picture, so he's the I know, not the CEO, but he's like somewhat like in there. Then Dana White stays president of the UFC, and Nick Khan is, I think, the president of all things WWE, and Vince McMahon is like one level above, I believe. And Ari Emanuel, the founder head of Endeavor, is the big boss. So I'm really curious to see like how they're gonna streamline WWE. So I expect lots of layoffs there, to be quite frank. I expect like streamlined, content creation, which is a UFC thing, which I'm not really keen on, to be honest. But if they say they run the same playbook, they're probably going to try to streamline that as well. So then lots of cross postings and like reusing stuff. But I mean, WWE does that anyways already. A bit too much. Also, like second night of WrestleMania was terrible. Basically, half of it was a review of the night before, right? So yeah, it's really interesting to see like what's happening, because while lots of people out there say like, yeah, WWE is just for kids, blah blah. Apparently not, right? Apparently they see lots of potential in there, because otherwise Endeavor wouldn't buy it. So I'm really curious to see where this is going. This combined power now could also lead to more purchasing power, more. I mean, they're gonna share facilities, they're gonna share equipment in terms of production houses and so on, studios and whatnot. So I also would expect the production quality gonna go through the roof, hopefully. So those are all things you really can look forward to. Those are all things, though, that are gonna make it more difficult for independent or small organizations, be that on the MMA side, Bellator, maybe even ONE, PFL, to catch up, but also then, of course, on the indie circuit when it comes to wrestling, like AEW. There's a big blow for AEW, in my opinion. All the other indies, like Impact, and then the actual indies. So that's gonna be really something to pay attention to, in my opinion. So you can see I'm a bit of a loss of words, because there's so many thoughts in my head right now, and like, where does this go? In which direction is this gonna go? But hey, before I just keep on stumbling, and if you listen to my previous podcast, I'm still sick, so I need to really protect my voice, go back to bed. So let me know what you think. What do you think this is gonna mean? What's gonna happen now that Endeavor owns the UFC and the WWE? It's crazy. Like, the biggest sport/entertainment company out there. Insane. So what do you think? Let me know on social media at funkitpod@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, rate this podcast so more wrestling and MMA fans can find us. And as always, I don't even know. Usually I end like MMA podcasts with Keep Your Guard Up and wrestling podcasts with Kick Out at 2. Do both. And we talk soon as I'm fit again. Until then, Sawadee Cup.